What's going on, guys? LSU Recruiting HQ back here on a beautiful, well, not really beautiful here in South Carolina, very rainy Thursday afternoon. It is November 10th, 2022, and it is Arkansas week. And we are getting prepped um, mentally and physically prepared for the letdown, right? I know a lot of you LSU fans out there thinking, we're just gonna breeze by Arkansas. Things happen. But me, a lot of people are like me. They're still on that emotional high, right? We just beat Alabama. SEC West is ours. Kind of mentality. But don't go sleeping on Arkansas. All right, this team is stacked up with some injuries. All right, but they have talent. First of all, the status of KJ Jefferson impacts this game tremendously. Um, Especially on my feel about the game, I will feel much better if he decides he would like to take this week off. Arkansas though sitting at 5-4, um, not really very impressive. 2-3 in the SEC. Um, they had a big win against Auburn 2 weeks ago, but then the one everybody's talking about is you come in as a double digit favorite at home against a group of five team like Liberty, and Liberty came in and they kind of smacked them around, um, and gave the Arkansas a game and ended up winning the game in the end. So that's kind of that feeling everybody's got about Arkansas right now is, oh, they lost to Liberty. Oh, we beat Alabama. Well, you got to dive a little bit deeper into it than that for sure. Those things did, in fact, happen. But it's a lot more complex than this because this Arkansas team with KJ Jefferson on the field is probably a top 20 team in the country. Um, just not a lot of breaks have been going their way. They dropped that game early against A&M at AT&T Stadium. That kind of set them back tremendously in the season because that's a game you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, we had to have won that game. And they're fighting for bowl eligibility. They're only at 5 wins, so they have a tough test ahead of them. And we all know this as LSU fans. This game means a lot. It means a lot to Arkansas people, a lot more than it does to LSU people. Um, you talk to LSU people, and yeah, Arkansas, you get a cool little trophy. But it's still Arkansas. We're more concerned about the Alabamas, the Auburns, the Floridas, as being our predominant rival teams that we play every year. Even A&M has moved into that category, with the success they've been having. But this Arkansas game is always one that kind of intrigues me, right? Depending on the year, depending on the situation, it always just feels like that game, and it's always been after the Alabama game, right? Very few times has it been before the Alabama game. So it used to be the letdown game, right? You lose a big game against Alabama. How do you respond the next week against Arkansas? Well, now you've won the big game against Alabama, and now you're sitting at a letdown spot because the weather's going to be terrible in Arkansas. 40 degrees, 11 a.m. kickoff. Um, Wind blowing, all the factors are there for this letdown game. And then you look up, you go on Monday and you see that the line is 3, at 2.5 at some place, and you're just scratching your head. I know I was. I didn't expect a 2.5 to 3 point spread on this game. I expected it to be a single digit spread, of course, because you're going to play on the SEC in the road, um, on the road, and that's not an easy thing. I don't care how good you are. Look at Alabama, how their struggles on the road. Georgia, with the Missouri game earlier this year, it's hard to win in the SEC in the road, and that is something that is looked upon by the casual fan, and they'll say, well, Georgia's number one team in the country. Why are they struggling to beat Missouri? Well, that's because playing in the SEC is tough. People don't give that credit. This isn't the NFL, and winning in the NFL on the road is hard. So just imagine that how that heightens as you move into these venues that the SEC schools have, Certain schools, you're playing in front of 90 plus thousand fans, um, that are all gathered on that Saturday to hope that you lose. Um, and it's that small town feeling in Arkansas, in Auburn, places like that, that are just tough places to play. The people ain't got nothing to do. They have no other pro sports teams, stuff like that. Arkansas football is what they live and die by, and they pack that place out every weekend, no matter if Arkansas is good or if they suck. It doesn't matter. Just goes to the point that it's hard to win on the road in the SEC. Now, my thoughts on this game are a little bit different than you might think, right? I seen the 2.5 spread, right? Immediately concerned, right? Vegas knows something. Expect that spread to skyrocket. I'm talking about skyrocket. If KJ Jefferson, they announced KJ Jefferson's not playing because Arkansas already has a couple guys on the back end of that defense out. Um, But if KJ Jefferson does not play, expect that line to rise and get into that touchdown range. Yeah, you could see a 4 to 5 point swing, just based on the status of KJ Jefferson. Um, my feelings on this game is I feel like LSU has come too far. All right, this is not Coach O. This is not Les Miles anymore. This is the attention to detail. If you guys subscribe to LSU Gold, or if you guys have just watched interviews with Brian Kelly, he uses that phrase so much. That attention to detail, play one play at a time. Don't worry about Arkansas. Don't worry about Arkansas. Let's worry about beating Alabama tonight, or let's worry about the next play. All right, that is and it's been proof all season long. All right, you have the sample size now, um, to to that they back those words up. That's not just a phrase they keep throwing around. They actually believe it, and then in that locker room, you can feel it every Saturday you go out there. Just look at that. Don't bend or bend but don't break mentality, that LSU has been playing with, and that, yeah, we got punched in the mouth, but who cares? Play the next play like it's your last, and that's what they do, and that's why they have maybe these slow starts, but LSU is never out of a football game. The Tennessee game is the only exception as of right now, that where LSU got down and they didn't battle back and come back and win the football game. Except for Florida State as well. They didn't win the football game. They came back and gave themselves a chance to win the game. Probably should have won the game, but you didn't. Um, that is what we are looking at now, and that is why I think this team is going to be focused. I think this team understands the task ahead of them and know that the job is not finished until they are playing in Atlanta. Um, because if this team truly wants to be at that level, that we all want them to be at, and that's playing for championships consistently, it starts this weekend, because this is the game that everybody's looking at where LSU is going to slip up. Brian Kelly said it after the Alabama game: you are no longer the hunter. All right, you have a big target on your back, and that is exactly where LSU should be. All right, and that's where they are right now. All right, you're sitting at number 7 in the nation in the college football playoff poll that just came out on Tuesday. And nobody is overlooking LSU and doubting what this program is at this point. Um, you are now back into that realm where you have the respect of every single opponent you're going to play every single Saturday, no matter who it is, who you're lining up against. That team on the other end has to respect what LSU is, and what that means is you're going to get people's best, right? Just like Alabama does every week. Alabama gets everybody's best. Georgia gets everybody's best. Why? Because they built themselves to be that. All right, LSU's not to that level yet. All right, but in the grand scheme of things, a team like Arkansas, a team like A&M, coming in, or you're going on the road to A&M the last week of the season, those games mean so much more to those teams now if they know they can cost you a chance to accomplish your goals, right? Because their goals have already been demolished, personally by themselves, All right, so now they are just playing with house money. All right, giving themselves the chance to spoil your fun. And I think personally, because of that, because of what I've heard about Brian Kelly all week, the mentality and trap game is only a trap game if you think about it being a trap game. If you don't worry about what color jersey the other team's wearing, you just go line up and play. Obviously, human nature is involved with that, and it is impossible to do. Um, but I think the mentality is team, knowing that they have goals still in front of them to accomplish. I don't think they will have a problem on Saturday. I actually believe that they will start fast in this game for the first time, right? I think they will put the pedal to the metal and feed off of that momentum from last week, and I think they will get the win, and they will head into the UAB week with one conference game remaining at A&M. And depending on the outcome of the Ole Miss and Alabama game, they could be SEC West champs by the end of the night on Saturday, and that's what I fully expect. I expect Alabama to beat Ole Miss, and I expect LSU to beat Arkansas. So, that being said, that's my prediction. That's my breakdown of the game. If you guys like what you heard today, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're doing this every week. We'll be doing it on Sundays and then on Wednesdays or Thursdays, and maybe even sometimes on Fridays. We'll be breaking down it all as the season goes on and into the off season. Once recruiting season rolls around, that's when things start to get busy and we start having a lot to talk about. But like I said, if you're not already, please subscribe. It's completely free. Costs you absolutely nothing, and all it does is help grow the channel. If you like and you leave a comment, let me know what you guys think about the game on Saturday. Is this going to be a trap game for LSU? And we'll see where we go from there, and we'll see how the people feel about it. If you're not already, man, follow on all the socials. At the bottom, we're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, even on TikTok now. So we're just blowing up everywhere, and it's all because of you guys, and I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day today, and I hope you have a blessed weekend, and hopefully our LSU Tigers get the win on Saturday, and we'll have something good to talk about on Sunday, and I will see you guys then.